Welcome to our movie review for Bodies, Bodies, Bodies. And as you can see, we're missing a body. This body is very lucky. He didn't want to see the film in the first place. Alex is on vacation, so me and Joe are picking up the slack here, and we went out to see Buddies, Buddies, Buddies to see if it's worth going to the theater for. This is an A24 film. I love A24 films.
It's hit and miss for me.
Yeah, hit and miss for you on A24. Well, this particular one is a Gen Z 20-somethings horror film slasher where a group of privileged kids, and they do a lot of the social satire marketing, Twitter speak. We've seen it in the trailer. Stop triggering me, you know, and all these.
You're gaslighting me.
Gaslighting. No, you shot me. You know, this kind of shit was kind of annoying, and you know, so but that's the spin on this, you know, and it. I will say that it was well shot, well acted. But for me, it was a collection. Like, the first act kind of sets things up nicely. Like, I don't mind watching pieces of shit die. You know what I mean? Like, people that are just annoying, vapid, without value, obnoxious. You know, fine. I like, you know, watching the bodies drop. But when you're spending this much time with the characters, and there's really nothing clever being added here, and the script seems to have been written by Twitter itself. You know, it's difficult to give a shit about what's happening to the characters. And ultimately, when the twist comes, a bit of a twist here, for me, made the film. Some people are probably going to be like, wow, that's excellent social commentary. For me, I'm like, you wasted my fucking time. You know, and I knew this already. I knew. Right. I see what you're going for. But yeah, so for me, is it worth going out and see Bodies, Bodies, Bodies in theaters? I would say no, you can skip this one. Joe, what did you think about this one?
When I saw the trailer, I was like, nah, this looks like a movie that's not for me. And after watching the movie, I am correct.
Yes.
This movie is not for me. I honestly would not recommend you go out and watch this.
Now, is it because it's not our target market, would you say? No, because during that first act, I was actually getting hyped up. I was like, okay.
I wouldn't mind that. But like you were saying before, like, these characters are fucking annoying, but you spend so much time with them. They're annoying throughout the whole film, and you have to sit through an hour and a half of them being annoying as fuck.
Yeah.
And yeah, you like their up and comings, but at the same time, you're not rooting for any characters.
No.
You don't give a shit about anyone, so you're not really invested in it.
Yeah.
So
and we've seen this collection of tropes.
Yeah, we've seen these like
times
this Who Done It. Knives Out has done it better. Like that one's like, obviously it's more intense anxiety. It's like, oh, what's going on? This one's just like, I don't care.
Yeah. They've got, you know, they got some Gen Z music and stuff, which, you know, I'll admit there's a few beats in there that kind of get in your head.
Was it Bored at the House?
Yes, it's Bored at the House, Bored at the House or whatever. And so they're bored at the house and they're just doing stupid shit. Eventually they want to play Bodies, 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 which is a fake killer thing where you touch him on the back, and then when you find a dead, you act dead, and then when you find a dead body, then everybody says bodies, bodies, bodies. Obviously, it turns into a real thing, and things spiral out of control. All set during a hurricane. I thought the hurricane was going to come into play a little bit more. It really doesn't. It's just an excuse to keep them all in one location, so that things is a little. And I think the angle, that slant, the marketing slant of you know, social justice satire a little bit, similar to another film out there. There's one called They/Them with Kevin Bacon. That one is far worse than this one. It is fucking pointless. Bodies, Bodies, Bodies makes They/Them look no, They/Them makes Bodies, Bodies, Bodies look like a masterpiece, right? So don't waste your time with They/Them either. But in the grand scheme of things, Bodies, unfortunately, is not very good. It's doing very well amongst critics. I'm looking here at the rating on Rotten Tomatoes. We're at 92% critics,
Damn.
80% audience. So the audience likes it a little less.
Drop off a little bit.
I think it'll drop off a little bit as it goes along. So yeah, that's pretty much it. What you think of Pete Davidson, right? He's been in the news lately. Kanye
Pete
West.
Davidson is Pete Davidson. He plays like the same character, same thing like The Rock and Kevin Hart.
Yeah.
He's just himself.
Yeah, he's just himself. And I mean, I heard recently like he broke up with Kim Kardashian and he's going into getting some therapy
Kardashians make you go crazy, man.
for all that. Well, I think it was more Kanye like constantly harassing him.
Jesus.
That whole drama is more fascinating than this entire film. It was but everybody is, I guess, okay in it. Every character in the film, you have reason to suspect that something is not quite right with them, or they would have motivation to potentially go on a spree like this. But when the twist comes, it's all like, okay. I see what's. I don't want to spoil. We'll save some of that for spoilers. But I just felt it, somewhat unsatisfactory in my opinion. But it definitely lends more weight to social commentary and to what the director, Helena Regine, a Dutch director, was trying to say here. Let me see if I can find some of the previous films. For the Birds, Instinct, nothing that I really recognize. But anyways, like I said, I just don't think it was satisfying. This could be all right on Netflix or something like that. A streaming service I could definitely see. But for A24, because I've seen such good films from A24, this one doesn't really live. This is middle of the pack at best, but probably towards the bottom. So let's go with final verdicts.
I'm probably gonna go with a 4. It's well acted. I also like the performance from Maria, the Borat.
Yeah, Maria Bakalova as B.
She wasn't as annoying as the rest of them, but everything was well shot, well executed. But just like I was saying before, characters are so fucking annoying. They just kind of get on your nerves, so you don't really care.
Right.
It's an interesting twist what they did at the end. But overall, I just wasn't really invested.
Yeah.
So I'd say 4 for me. If this was on streaming service, sure, check it out. But not go out there.
Yeah, it seemed to be a lot funnier film than I expected, but not for me. For the audience behind us, I looked over at Joe. He's not laughing at any of these jokes, so I don't know if it's Gen Z humor or people looking in. I guess maybe we're too close to that type of language and dialogue because we're on Twitter all the time because of the
They're probably like,
show.
"Oh, that's what my kids do. That's funny."
Yeah, I guess. But I just didn't find it funny.
Same.
And so and not really all that entertaining. The kills are not gruesome. They're not gory. They're not a part of the feature. It's more about who done it and how things can spiral out of control, but I don't care if I kind of rooting for all the people to go away.
Go away.
Yeah, and anyway, so that's I would probably give it I can see a 6 out of 10, but it's A24, and I wouldn't watch it again. I'm going to say it's average. I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10. Bodies. So, just saved you some money. I would much rather you go out and see, may I make a recommendation, Bullet Train. I had more fun with that, even though the critics apparently did not like that one. Prey, again, if you want to see that. But, yeah, just maybe save your money for an upcoming film. I'm not sure what's coming next, but that's our opinion on Bodies. We'll give you a short spoilers if you weren't planning on seeing it and want to know what that twist is to see if it's clever or not. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you on the next Angry Joe Show. Bye, guys. Hey, welcome to the spoiler section. Joe, what was the epic twist?
The epic twist was everyone died accidentally.
Oh, wow. Oh, my God. Why? Well, then why did they think that everybody was killing everybody? Well, because they're all
dumb.
pieces of shit. They're all dumb. They're all lying to each other, all cheating on each other, and they're all secretly hate each other even though they're friends, and they're too cowardly to not be friends with each other anymore, kind of stuff. How did this all get kicked off, though?
So they were playing Bodies, the original game, and then a little bit went out of hand because Pete Davidson punches or gets in. What's the guy's name?
Yeah,
the other guy. He gets in his face.
The 40-year-old.
He's like, all right, this is it. Everyone splits up. Then all of a sudden, you see Pete Davidson slam into the glass with his neck slit open.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, my God, what the fuck happened?
So they think Greg, who is the bigger guy.
Because they had an altercation before, so he's like, it must have been Greg. He's like, well, how long have you known Greg? He's like, well, we've been together for a long time. 2 weeks. He's like, well, 2 weeks isn't a long time.
Right, all these lies.
So then everyone starts pointing fingers. And that's
You've got a subplot between... Okay, so the two main characters are essentially Sophie and B. B and Sophie, a new relationship. They're LGBT. They open up, kissing, making out. They're enjoying each other. But I think once they get to the house, it is Emma, or no, it is Jordan, who seems to have jealousy towards them. It may be because Jordan and Sophie have had a relationship in the past, and also were fucking the same week or whatever that B and Sophie got together. So it's like, so you have all this passive aggressiveness.
They didn't know she was going to show up because she was not interacting in the group chat.
In the chat. You didn't let anybody know ahead of time that you were going to be in the chat. It's just, and so...
Group chats, man.
Group chats. I know you're in a lot of them because your fucking cell phone goes off constantly when we're working on. Anyways, so then first Pete Davidson's character dies, then it's Greg. Everybody thinks it's Greg. They find Greg using a face thing. He's like in the middle of a gymnasium. I'm like, these people are rich as fuck. That's another thing. They're very affluent, and I guess that was maybe one of the good jokes. Like, you know, you think you're going from rags to riches, but it's like you're upper middle class, and then they do a joke where it's like, yeah. But my parents work at a public college or whatever it was instead of a private college. University. It's like ha 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 ha, but the audience is like ha. Anyway, so then they end up killing Greg because Greg wakes up and he's being told that he killed David, and he's like, whoa, and then they have knives because they're all like spooked out by Greg, and then it's actually B, the Maria Bakalova, who I think she was in Borat, right?
Yes,
she's the interview chick in Borat, and she knocks him over the back of the head and actually does commit murder. So in fact, B is the actual murderer.
With the fucking kettlebell.
Yeah. Damn.
That thing's fucking heavy twice in the head. So
she actually has 2 kills because later on, when Jordan is seen getting a gun, when it was said that there was no gun in the house, Jordan has the gun. B points out that she has the gun, empties her pocket. She doesn't have the gun, but later on she goes and gets the gun because she just hit it. And in that moment, the girls are all arguing with each other, and that's when Jordan shoots Alice, who is one of the more annoying characters. She's the one that's in the trailer crying all the fucking,
Stop silencing me.
Stop silencing. Yeah, exactly. Because, I don't know, fucking Jordan said that she liked her podcast, but she didn't really like her podcast. She was hate listening to her podcast. you kind of see why we didn't like the film and like why the jokes in it.
Too
Joe's
close.
laughing right now, but
Because it
it's
was
not as
stupid.
funny as
No,
it sounds.
it wasn't.
But I guess it was to some of the audience. And then so it's all superficial, vapid. I get it. I get what they're going for. This
the
thing has
narcissist.
spiraled out of control because of all these narcissists who are thinking that everybody else has reasons to kill, but nobody actually killed anybody because it turns out that, well, first, let me finish with, so Jordan has the gun. Jordan ends up shooting Alice in the leg, and then they all start wrestling for the gun. And it's not really clear who kills Alice, but Alice is shot again, this time in the neck, and she's dead. Oh, previously I forgot to mention Emma fell down the stairs.
She was doing drugs, and she took some Xanax or some other drug and just fell down the stairs.
Because Sophie basically told Emma what she really thinks of her, and it hurt her feelings, and she went to do drugs, and then she fell down the stairs on her own. But again, people think, aha, I told you it wasn't great. She was pushed. And then I'm having a good time explaining it. It sounds
maybe
better
on paper. Yeah, but just
we must have not got knocked out of it and just weren't into it. But anyway, just really annoying, obnoxious people. So Emma's dead, Alice is dead, Greg is dead, David is dead. David is Pete Davidson. Jordan, B, and Sophie are left. And Jordan essentially will not stop waving around the gun. She goes for the gun again, and so you're thinking, okay, it's definitely Jordan. You know, she found this hidden gun, and what that confirms it. But so Sophie as Jordan, they're fighting over the gun. By the way, the entire fucking time, everybody is doing the stupidest shit ever when there's dead bodies around. So they're arguing more about, superficial stuff, right? So Sophie is trying to get the gun away from Jordan, and B protects Sophie because they have a relationship. She jumps onto Jordan and throws Jordan over the stairs. So that's B's second kill. So she truly is the killer, and then Jordan dies with glass from a fucking coffee table, but she fires a bunch of bullets into the air, not hitting anybody, but basically making Sophie and B run into a room together. And before Jordan dies, though, she says, check Sophie's texts, because earlier she was like, we were fucking in the car that you were in when you drove here, like a week before you were here. And so B wants to know. She suspects Sophie of, that being true. Whether she's the killer or she just wants to find out whether she's lying to her, it doesn't really matter at this point because everybody's fucking dead. And then they wrestle over.
Let me see your phone.
Let me see your phone. They wrestle over the gun. B finally gets the gun, points it at Sophie, and Sophie says no, throws her phone to the side. They're outside of the house now. The hurricane has stopped. And it's real muddy outside, so they wrestle in the mud, fall in the pool, come out of the pool, and manage to find her phone. Beef grabs her phone, and she looks at her phone. They're both looking at the phone, and Sophie goes, that's not my phone. And so B unlocks the phone, and a video just starts immediately playing. That's not how that works.
It's David's phone.
You have to, it's David's phone who's dead on the ground. You have to go into the phone, then go to the galleries, and then look at the videos, and then click on the video. But whatever, the video starts playing, and it turns out that the whole time David was using the machete to try to pop the champagne cork like the cool guy Greg did earlier, and he's like, it's not that cool. Well, he's practicing. He's trying to do it, and then he stupidly starts to put the machete towards him, and he fucking kills himself, essentially. So all of this was just
an accident.
An accident, and unnecessary and pointless, and there was no real murderer after all, except for B, who has totally murdered people. And then just then, Max returns to the mansion. Who's Max? We don't fucking know. Just the guy who was there, and then he left, and they thought maybe it could be Max because he's not here, and he's coming back. And he comes back, and he goes, what the hell happened? And the two girls don't really say anything. She says, got reception because the storm had knocked out the reception. That's where it ends. There's no after credit scene or anything. So, assumedly,
twist. There you go.
Assumedly, I guess B goes to jail for the murders, and I guess maybe Sophie, because what did Sophie know?
Sophie didn't shoot anyone and kill anyone.
Right. So I guess B goes to jail. Probably, we're just speculating. After, who cares what happens to these characters? And Sophie has traumatic PTSD for the rest of her life, and
Well,
it's all because of motherfucking superficial, vapid.
And drugs. Don't do drugs.
Yeah, that's the real message of the film. Because everybody was doing lines of drugs and weed. B was doing weed. I don't remember her doing any hard drugs.
Nah,
She just stuffed her face with all that brownies.
Unknowingly.
Yeah, but she motherfucking killed people. Don't do drugs, and don't be pieces of shit to each other. Don't be two-faced to each other, because if you are an idiot and you're vapid and you're two-faced and you create all these web of lies, when there's a storm and somebody accidentally kills themselves, you're going to spiral out of control. Though these people do all the dumbest things, and it wouldn't have ever happened, and so it's all pointless.
No.
Anyways, that's the thing. So you might think it's a clever social commentary. I just think it's fucking obnoxious because I had to spend time with these characters. Anyways, that's going to be it for this one, right?
Yeah.
You want to say anything
That's
else?
about it.
There was, no? Yeah.
Yeah, I think we covered all the kills. And
Covered the
we
kills
did
and
the
the
twist.
pen and the panties, confirming that she was cheating on B.
Yeah, she was cheating.
So they're all pieces of shit.
Yeah.
Anyways, except for B, though B is quick to kill people. So I don't know. All right, guys, that's it. I'll see you on the next Angry Joe show. Bye, guys. Or wait, keep going. Well, I guess Alex got out of another one. He was
Lucky
absent
bastard.
at the right time. I don't think he would have liked the film.
No, not at all.
All right, guys, that's it. Save yourself some money this week, and we will see you on the next Angry Joe show. For real.